Rosie here. Welcome or welcome back. As you know, because you read the title, we're here for a vlog. Nothing particularly special happening this weekend, just having like a chill weekend at home, doing some reading. So I thought it would be fun to bring you along with me, show you what I'm up to, tell you about what I'm reading, hopefully use that as inspiration to actually get lots of reading done this weekend. So let's get to it. Actually, before we get to it, I'm going to tell you about what books I'm reading right now. So I'm either 2 or 3 chapters into Song of Solomon by Toni Morrison, which is a lot longer than her other novels, but so far I'm liking it. So far I'm really interested. As always, the characters are super fascinating and I'm looking forward to getting to know them better. I'm also reading Underland by Robert Macfarlane right now, which is like nature writing and also science, history, mythology writing. Like it's that, I don't know what it's called, but like that genre of nonfiction where stuff is presented very much in like a stream of consciousness in relation to my visit to this specific place type book. But it's interesting and gives me claustrophobia, which is fun. What else am I reading? I am reading The Hobbit for the Tolkien along. I'll probably read a couple chapters of that this weekend. I've been sort of spreading it out throughout the month. And I'm listening to an audiobook. I'm listening to All the Light We Cannot See by Doerr, I think his name is, which is a novel set in World War II, follows a French girl and a German boy who grows up to serve in the German army. So I'm about, I think, a third of the way into that, and I'll probably listen to a bit more when I'm out and about this weekend. Not out, I'll go for a run, basically. But for now, it's Friday night, which if you saw my Finish-a-thon vlog, you know is what I consider like the true beginning to the weekend. You're wasting it if you're not using Friday night as peak weekend. So since it's Friday night, and I like to use my Friday night efficiently, I'm going to cook hot and sour mushroom cabbage rice soup for my dinners next week. Fall's here. It's chilly. It's really chilly here. And I am so excited about soup. I just really like soup. So I'm going to cook some food. Probably going to watch some TV with my boyfriend while we do that. And then hopefully, if I am efficient, I can get some reading in tonight. I forgot to keep getting shots of us cooking, but I have now made hot and sour cabbage mushroom rice soup, which I tried to hold up once and spilled all over my skirt, so we're not going to try that again, but this looks delicious. I'm going to have a little bowl now and then put the rest away for my dinners next week and do the dishes. Okay, it's a bit later now. Dishes done, face washed, incredibly shiny skincare on, and even though it's only like 9 o'clock, I'm in bed with Song of Solomon. I'm on chapter 3 and I want to get at least 2 chapters read tonight, I think. I'm really liking it, as I said earlier. I'm really interested to see what Toni Morrison does with the character over such a longer novel. If I'm remembering correctly, this one's like almost twice as long as the others I've read by her, so it's gonna be really interesting. I've said that too many times, but like I love her character work so much. So I think seeing what she does with a longer span of time and more attention will be fascinating. 9 o'clock might seem really early to be in bed reading a book, but something I'm trying to work on lately is being more deliberate, because not so much in the last few months, but in the last couple of years, something I've really struggled with is sitting around on Reddit and Facebook all weekend and then going, oh, I've wasted the weekend. I didn't get to do anything I really wanted to do because I spent the whole time on Facebook, and then I'd cry at my partner because I was upset because I didn't ever had any time to do the things I wanted to do. So 9 o'clock, in bed with a book, because that's what I actually want to be doing this weekend. I don't care about random acquaintances from high school being bridesmaids in socially distanced weddings. I want to read Toni Morrison. lunchtime. Didn't start my vlog before now because I had a cozy little morning in bed, read some more of Song of Solomon, did I read other stuff? Read a bit more of Underland. I'm just jumping all over the place. Then I went for a run, did a really nice long run, listened to a lot of All the Light We Cannot See, which is beautiful, and why didn't I read this years ago when I bought it? Now, I was going to chat with you a bit about Song of Solomon while I cleaned the kitchen, but I'm a spoiled little person, and Bear actually cleaned the kitchen while I was out for my run so that I didn't have to do it. And so instead, I'm going to tell you about Song of Solomon while I cook us some potatoes and eggs for our brunch. And wow. So I didn't know too much about what this was about before I started reading it. And I'm not going to say too much. It's basically the story of one person's life, I think. The part that's really interesting to me, especially right now, is the way it talks about violence against Black people and the way... So Song of Solomon was published, I think the mid-70s, maybe late 70s, and it's set starting in 1931 and then throughout the rest of the 1900s. And you know, the way that people, you know, Black men in the barber shop in a story set in 1951 are talking about the lynching of a man in the South is so eerily close to so much of what we're seeing now. It's so heartbreaking to see how little we've improved and how much of something that was plausible 70 years ago sounds like it could have been written today if it weren't for the slang. But as always, Toni Morrison's writing is beautiful, and she deals with heartbreaking topics in the most wonderful way. So despite the sadness of it, it is a beautiful book, and I am really enjoying reading it. You might remember from my intro yesterday, which was only a few moments ago for you, that I currently have 4 books on the go. But I'm about to start another. I've not finished any of those, still reading all of them. But you know what? We're going with it. I'm loving Song of Solomon, but it's pretty heavy. I don't think I just want to sit and read it for hours this afternoon. I think I'd rather read like an hour here, an hour there, over the span of the next week or so. Underland, also really good, but I'm reading it mostly before bed. I'm pretty close to the end, so I'm not like in a rush to power through it. I'm enjoying it, but I don't feel the need to binge. The Hobbit, I think I'm going to read some tomorrow, but I'm trying to spread that through the month for the Tolkien along. And All the Light We Cannot See is an audiobook, and I love audiobooks. If I'm doing stuff, I listened to some on my run this morning, listened to a bit more while I was having my shower and then cooking lunch. But I'm not someone who can just sit and just listen to an audiobook. I need to be doing something. So I'm going to pick up Convenience Store Woman by Sayaka Murata. To check that. Which I've been so excited to read for so long, and I just picked up in July actually now, so it's been a while, but I've been really wanting to read it, and I think it's pretty short. So I'm going to try and just have a really cozy reading afternoon. It's like 2 o'clock now. I'm going to do some reading. In a little while I'm going to bake some muffins, do a bit more reading, see if I can read all of this, and hopefully fall in love with it like everyone else does, because I've heard so many great things about it. Popping in quickly mid-muffin making to tell you that Convenience Store Woman is lovely. I'm about halfway in. It's such an interesting perspective. I'll obviously do a full wrap-up in my end of September wrap-up, but for now, it's just... it feels really unlike anything I've read before, and I don't know if that's the Japanese setting, the Japanese writing, because it was originally written in Japanese and translated, or if it's the character's way of looking at the world, or some combination of all three. I'm finding it really interesting, really loving it, and totally get the hype. I've been having good luck lately with hyped up books, haven't I? Because, again, this one could have turned out disappointing. But no, I'm really into it. I think the author has another book out this month? Later next month? I'm not sure when it's coming out in Canada. But that sounds really interesting, and I'm looking forward to picking that up as well. Mixed success with the later half of the afternoon. No, well, complete success. Muffins, done, delicious, lovely. Convenience store woman, still only about half done, but lovely FaceTime call with my best friend. So, you know what? That one wins out over a book. Forgot to show you our dinner. We had pulled pork, it was lovely, but not very photogenic. But we're just gonna play some WoW now. We've been, as I mentioned in a previous vlog, we play World of Warcraft Classic, and getting real close to 60 now, being slowpokes, but we're gonna play some of that this evening. I might check in later to talk about Underland before I go to bed, or I might not. It's a mystery to me. You'll know soon, but I don't know now. It's basically bedtime now. I'm just about to get my pajamas once I film this. And I know I said earlier I might check in now and tell you about how I'm doing with Underland, but honestly, I read like a page more of Convenience Store Woman, and I am just so into it that, you know what, it's Saturday. I'm gonna be wild on a quarantine Saturday night and stay up for a while and finish this book before I fall asleep. Woman last night. It was a delight. I wasn't sure I was gonna like where the book was going until like the last 10 pages. I was enjoying reading it, but I wasn't sure I was gonna be like satisfied with the ending, but I totally was. It was glorious. I can't even really put my finger on why I like it so much. I just really enjoyed reading it and thought the ideas and concepts it put forward were really interesting. I personally have no interest in working in a convenience store, but it was a really refreshing take on what that is and what that can be. So that was interesting. I think this morning I'm going to try and read another 5 chapters of The Hobbit, because I'm trying to read 5 chapters a week and not get too far or ahead or behind in the readathon. But I also find it kind of annoying to read like 1 chapter a night. So I think I'll sit down this morning, I'll read 5 chapters, which I don't think will take very long, and then see where I go from there. I've read 5 chapters of The Hobbit. I've only got 4 chapters left. I'm going to save those for next weekend. But my goodness, I've forgotten how lovely this book is. I don't think... I've read The Hobbit maybe once as an adult before, and that was probably 5 years ago. But it's just really delightful, and I'm appreciating Bilbo so much more as a protagonist this time than I think I did last time. He's like, hey, I can be kind of brave. Like, surprisingly brave, given who I was when this started. But also, I'm hungry. We're running out of food, and that's a problem. So, he's fun. Getting close to lunchtime, but I think I can squeeze in 1 or maybe even 2 chapters of Song of Solomon before I take a break to make us some lunch. It's brunch time! And brunch today means these, like, fritters? That's the only name I've ever known them as, but honestly, I don't follow a recipe or anything. Basically, it's just like grated carrot, grated zucchini, some eggs, some flour, loads of salt, fry it up, and it's surprisingly delicious. So that's, oh, and onion. Can't forget the onion, it's essential. But yeah, it's super tasty. I'm doing a big batch for Bear and I to have for our brunch. Hope there's not too much road noise right now, but thought I'd bring you along. This is the most exciting thing we've done this weekend. Not that it's that exciting. We're at the thrift store. We've got some stuff to donate, and things are pretty quiet where we are in terms of cases, so we're gonna do a browse. I haven't done any thrifting since like February now, because this haven't been coming out, but got our masks, so we're gonna head in, check things out. I've got some Christmas decor crafts that I'm thinking about that I want to get supplies for, and I don't know, we'll see what else. I promise I meant to film while in the thrift store, but like, you guys know what it's like. Stores are weird now. They're busy. Everything's in the way all the time. And I just felt weird like getting my camera out and taking B-roll shots, so I didn't. But I think we had a pretty successful thrift trip. We got some stuff to do some Christmas crafts like I wanted. I picked up a couple shirts. But yeah, now I'm gonna make some dinner and continue reading. It's not been an exciting reading vlog, I'm afraid. It's just been a lot of reading. I've read another 2 chapters of Song of Solomon. It continues to blow me away. I feel like this one, even more than the other Toni Morrison novels I've read so far, there's just these incredible shifts of perspective, and all of a sudden this character who you thought was just like chilling in the background, we're suddenly getting their perspective and their story, and you think, how could I have ever thought this character was anything other than completely fleshed out and acting on their own motivations all the way through? It's just really amazing. The writing is beautiful, but also not one that I want to binge. I've been reading sort of like 2 chapters here, 2 chapters there all weekend, and I think I've read something like 8 chapters now, but never like super long time in one go. I just want to like sample, digest, think, come back, whoa, what's happening now? I wish I'd written an essay on something like this in high school. I feel like I could have so much fun annotating this up with different colored pens to like build an essay, but yeah, it's great, but it's time for bed now, which means sadly the weekend is over. So I'm gonna sign off here. I hope that you've also had a great weekend, or great whatever part of the week it is when you're watching this. I hope you've been having great reading too. If you have, let me know down below. If you haven't been having great reading, I'm sorry, I hope it gets better. Let's talk down below about what's going on and what book you need to read to get out of that slump. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you would like to see more of me and hear my wrap up at the end of the month for all of these, please hit subscribe, and thank you for watching.